Okay, today we're going to be doing a screen replacement on a Dell INSPIRON N5110 laptop. To begin, we want to start by removing the battery, so just flip your laptop over. You'll see a couple of switch panels. Have to get both those in the unlock position and remove the battery. Next, we'll flip back over to where we'll be working. First thing we'll want to do to remove the screen is we have to take this outer rim, remove that. Now, my screen is actually damaged because it was dropped, so you'll see there are maybe some cracks in my piece that you're not going to have, so I may have to be extra careful so that mine's not further damaged in the removal of this screen bezel. So to remove the screen bezel, there are some tools. You could use a plastic piece like this. You find these in like an iPhone repair kit, things like that. A really good tool is actually just your fingernails. You can basically come in from the inside with your fingernails and just give it a little bit of a tug. Work it slowly and just a little bit at a time. And I usually skip the corners, work around, and we'll come back to the corners at the end here. Now, here is where my screen was already, my bezel was already damaged here, so I'm going to try not to make it worse. Now for the corners, once you've got all the rest off, you can apply a little pressure to the front and then work your nail from the back, and they come off pretty easily with that technique. Again, I don't have a lot of practice with this, so I suspect maybe you'll learn from me. Since my screen bezel is already cracked here from where it was dropped, I'm going to use this plastic tool, but it probably won't be necessary for you if you don't have a damaged bezel like I do. So like I said, the fingernails work, but if you have this plastic pry tool, it does seem to be a little easier and more effective than the nails. So I guess that's just a case of the right tool for the job. Okay, so the screen bezel is out. So we're just going to set that aside in a safe place. So the next thing we want to do is, you'll see these two screws. Let's see if I can get where you can see that pretty well. The two screws here on the top, you're going to remove those, and what we're trying to do there is remove those so that we can then access some screws on the side, which are currently covered by the outer shell of the screen. So the best tools for this, for the screen replacement, the tools you'll need is just a couple Phillips head screwdrivers. So let's see. I want to put these screws somewhere they're not going to get knocked over by your kids or something like that, because they are fairly small and could be lost. Okay, so once those two are out, we can tilt it up just a little bit so that we can then access the screws on the side. So this will probably be easiest seen if I give you a shot like that. So as I pry on it a little bit, you'll be able to see that there are screws top and bottom there, top and bottom. So again, just another Phillips head screw, and these screws just hold the screen into the bracket, And I guess this is when it's probably more important to have your screen tilted back a little bit, as once it comes out of this bracket, it will be very loose and would have more potential to fall. Now I'm just going to repeat the process on the other side. It looks identical, but I will show you anyway, just to be thorough. So again, it's probably up on the screen. It's best if you're tilted back so you don't drop the screen out once you do get the screw out. Some wires you've got to avoid chafing and that sort of thing when you're working these screws. Once those are loose, you're going to go ahead and slowly tilt the screen up, and what you'll notice as you do so, that webcam has a cord associated with it that goes down and connects at the bottom. So mine just popped out, as you saw, when I had a little pressure on it, but you can just easily pull that out and that'll be moved over to your new screen. So now that that's out, we can lay that down where we got good access. And next we want to, you'll see this webcam cord comes down, and we've got the actual cord that connects the screen to the computer with your data cable. So it has an adhesive tape on it, so you just want to work that with a fingernail, or again your little plastic knife, or even potentially a razor blade or something, just to get under there and get it started, and to where you can grab a corner and peel it up. So just peel up that adhesive, and once you've got that adhesive up there, and again, I'm just working slowly because I don't want to damage this cord in here, because obviously it gets reused. So once you've got the front side up, you can then grab it from the back here. Let's see. You can. Once you get that adhesive off, that connector comes right out. So you can see there, you've just got that little guy. So pull this cord all the way off, so that will stay with your computer for your new screen. And at that point, you can now take your old screen out of your way. Now your new screen comes in a nice cushion package, bubble wrap and all that stuff, and then additionally it's in this plastic cover. It looks identical to the old screen basically. It's got the same do not touch labels in certain areas and all that sort of thing. You've got the circuit board in the same spot that it was. So essentially you just want to now reverse the process. So we'll take the cord that we've been really gentle with, and you'll see you've also got a nice protective covering on the front, so I'm not too worried about laying it down here on my keyboard. So next we'll want to get this connector lined up, so I'm going to take a look at it and see how it goes in. Realize my shoulder may be covering the screen there, so I'm going to try to work in a way that I can show you. Took a little bit of wiggling, but eventually we were able to get that connector slid in. Essentially what it does is you can lay it flat on the screen and then slide it up in. Once you've got it in place and locked down, then you'll want to reapply that adhesive to make sure that it's going to remain a good connection. So next I'm going to try to get this cord lined back up the way that it was on the screen that came off. So the cord has some adhesive on it so that it kind of stays in an exact place. So I'm going to try to put it back the way it was. So you'll see I'll kind of pat it down and rub it and get it gently back in place. So again, we're just reversing the procedure that we previously did. So I should remember the next step now would be to tilt it back up and connect the camera cord. A little something there, but so just the opposite way that it came out. So it just slides up from the bottom until you get a good click, and then I can rest that screen in the bracket. I'm going to tilt my screen back similar to the way we did when we removed it, so that it's not trying to fall out on me the whole time I'm working it here. Now at this point it's a good time to remove this tape that is holding this protective cover on, since you're not going to want to use your screen with protective cover and the tape is about to be, if you don't remove it now, it will be buried behind your screen. So that slides back in the bracket the way it was. I left this one screw slightly installed, so it's, there we go, right in place where I need it. Now I'm not going to completely cinch that screw down, or any of these side screws down, until I've got them all started. I want to make sure I don't have any issues lining things up. So again, in the reverse of the removal, we are now installing the screws that go in the side bracket into the side of the monitor. They are. And it helps if you can be in a position to use one hand to pull, let's see if I can get a shot of what I'm doing here. Pull on the top of this bracket to expose the screw head to make it a little easier to screw in. So now I've got them all started, so I'm just going to tighten them all the way now. No more concern for alignment issues. And so the next step after those are in is to put the two top screws in. As you can see, we're almost back to completion here. So these two top screws, a little easier to access, so okay. And once those are in, you are ready to pop your bezel back on. So you're probably feeling pretty good about now. So nothing special about this. It's just similar to how it came off there. You're just kind of slowly working your way around, getting it back in place. May have to go around a couple times to make sure you're fully back in. Now yours will probably cinch up better than mine. Again, my bezel was fairly damaged in the fall, so after that you can close your laptop, flip it over, get your battery back in place, lock your battery on, and you are set. And that's it for the screen install. Good luck.